Hi everyone, it's Don and I hope you're having a fantastic day. Boy, do we have a lot of stuff in the news today. We have Carnival coming out with what their policy is for vaccinations. It could be changing, as well as some cruise lines have come out and said to be fully vaccinated now, you're going to have to be boosted. Otherwise, you're not considered fully vaccinated. We have a country that is saying they're going to open up soon, but the cruise lines don't believe them, and they're canceling cruises all the way till almost June. It is all over the place today. So, oh boy, so much news. So let's start off with some quick good news. We have Hawaii has officially added cruise ships to their COVID-19 safe travels policy, which means cruise lines, just like air travelers and everybody else, has to abide by their policies for COVID and vaccinations and testing, which basically means that before you arrive in Hawaii, you're going to have to prove that you have been tested and you have to be vaccinated to get off on shore. We didn't expect anything different really, but by adding it to their official status, it means that they're considering cruise ships as just as safe as air travel and any other travel, which means you can now pretty much book your Hawaii cruises without too much fear that they're going to be canceled, which is really good news for a lot of people. Now let's talk about what's happening in Australia. You remember, just about a month before Christmas, one of the transportation ministers in Australia came out and said, you know what? We expect to see cruises by Christmas. We expect Christmas holidays. And then 4 days later, they came out and said, yeah, we're extending our no cruise policy ban until February 17th. Funny, right? Because the cruise lines at that time said, yeah, there's no way there's going to be Christmas cruises. There's absolutely no possible way we can get our ships ready in a month. So even if you say that there might be Christmas cruises, there will be no Christmas cruises. And guess what? The cruise lines are right. And now we have travel agents, food processors, a bunch of people now in Australia protesting the MP's offices there, saying enough is enough. It's time to get travel in general and especially cruise ships back and running in Australia. Travel agents say they have been basically given no financial support. Food vendors are saying the exact same thing. Those who work directly with, say, travel and cruise line industries say their support from the government is almost non-existent. Many food processors who grow their food and their farmers and everything, specifically for cruise ships, have had to lay off over 85% of their staff in Australia. Not to mention how many travel agents have gone years without earning an income now, and travel agencies that have all had to close in Australia, etc. Cruiseport financial losses. Australia has lost $5 billion just from the cruising industry so far during the pandemic. And a lot of people in the industry have said, we've had it. February 17th, that's when the cruise ship ban is expected to end. But not a single person that I have ever talked to actually thinks they're going to end the ban in February. They think it's going to be extended again. So much for cruises for Christmas. I guess the minister was talking about this year's Christmas and not last year's. And even then, as you're going to hear shortly, that may be in doubt as well. Well, with the cruise line saying that their talks with the government in Australia is going absolutely nowhere, well, they've started canceling more cruises. P&O Cruises and Carnival Cruise Line have canceled sailings all the way until May 26th and May 27th. So June might be the first sign you see of a cruise ship if all goes well. If everything goes well and they open up and they can get things started, maybe June, which means another half a year with no cruising in Australia and no income for an awful lot of businesses there who say they absolutely have had zero support from the government there in Australia, even though they're the ones keeping them from running a business. Now we have to talk about boosters. I know it's a touchy subject. I do. But we got to talk about it because things are changing. But before I get there, let me just invite you to hit that subscribe button if you haven't done so already. Really tells YouTube, hey, people like cruising. People like to talk about cruising. People want to know what's going on with cruising. And let's share it to more people. That's how the channel grows. Doesn't cost anything. You're not being inundated with emails or anything like that. It just really helps the channel grow, and I would really appreciate it. Okay, so what's happening? Well, we have 2 cruise lines now in North America who have come out and said, yeah, as of March 1st, booster shots are going to be a requirement to be considered fully vaccinated. If you are eligible for a booster shot by March 1st, you will have had to take it to get on Azamara Cruise Lines and Silver Seas Cruise Lines. And people immediately went, well, Don, those are pretty small cruise lines. Those are specialty cruise lines and luxury cruise lines. Yeah, but they're also run by Royal Caribbean. So how much longer do you think that might last, that Royal Caribbean and Celebrity are next following suit? A lot of people are just waiting for the CDC to say, you know what, to be fully vaccinated consideration now, you're going to have that booster shot. In fact, Carnival Cruise Line just put out a notice saying that you have to be considered fully vaccinated. You have to have your 2 shots. If you want to sail unvaccinated, you have to apply for an exemption, but they're going for that 95% vaccinated rule. So just because you apply doesn't mean you necessarily get to go. And most of those exemptions are for proven medical reasons or kids under 5 who cannot get vaccinated. That fills up a Carnival ship very quickly with those kids under 5 who parents are taking on a trip. So vast majority of ships. And in their statement, they actually come out and say that the CDC's current recommendations are 2 shots are considered fully vaccinated. If that changes in the future, we will adjust our policy to reflect the CDC's policy. Which means when the CDC, if the CDC comes out and says fully vaccinated is 3 doses or boosted, 1 dose of Johnson & Johnson and another one, whatever the case may be, Carnival looks like they will adjust their systems to say, yep, you need to have that booster shot. I know, don't shoot the messenger. I do know it's a very touchy subject. I'm just relaying what's happening out there, whether you agree with it, whether you disagree with it. Everybody has a point of view. I'm just hoping this whole thing ends at some point in my life and this doesn't go on forever. But yeah, be prepared, everybody out there. If you have 2 doses already, you might, and you have cruises booked, you might want to consider getting that booster shot just to be able to go cruising, or just to be able to travel, or just to be able to fly, depending on where you live. Here in Canada, you can't get on a bus, a train, or a plane without proof of vaccination. And if they make 3 doses mandatory, you're going to need your booster just to get on a bus, train, or a plane, or a cruise ship. So, yeah, that's where we stand here in Canada. Well, I hope you appreciate this video, whether you agreed with the news or not. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. You want to see more tips, more tricks, more travel vlogs from around the world? Hit that subscribe button. Until next time, have yourself a safe and a great vacation.